Coming up on Vegas Nation Gameday, we'll get you ready for today's Raiders game against the Buffalo Bills. And we'll show you how a charity event could mean trouble for the Raiders. Our fast takes and smart coverage kicking off now.
This is Vegas Nation Gameday. Brought to you by Meineke and your local Meineke dealers. When you shop for quality, shop Meineke.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome into Vegas Nation Game Day. I am your host, Cassie Soto. Joining me in studio today are Review Journal sports columnist Ed Graney and NFL reporter Adam Hill.
Yeah, Cassie, it's been a pretty eventful week for the Raiders, from their loss to the Patriots to the news about a charity event, which we'll get into shortly, leading up to a matchup this afternoon at Allegiant Stadium against the Buffalo Bills.
That's right. Our Vegas Nation Game Day crew is out in the field to bring you our fast takes and smart coverage. We will check in live with our colleagues Heidi Fang, Sam Gordon, and Vinny Bonsignor as they get ready to cover the game itself. And Kevin Cannon is at Ellis Island to talk to fans about the first Sunday game in Las Vegas. Well, let's start here with some storylines. The Raiders visited New England last week and came home with the first loss of the season. Guys, we were supposed to toss to Heidi Fang there, but, you know, Allegiant Stadium, things get a little crazy. So let's go ahead and we'll do this. Vegas Nation crew, we're in it together.
Yeah.
Adam, first loss of the season coming from New England, Cam Newton. What happened there?
Yeah, the Raiders kind of got exposed in their defense a little bit, especially with the run game. The first half, they held up pretty well, and I thought they were doing a good job, especially containing Cam Newton and what he wants to do on the offensive side. And then the run game really took over for the Patriots. I think they found some things to take advantage of, including kind of isolating Jonathan Abram a little bit, getting him to over-pursue. That might be the weakness that he has. A lot of talent. He has a lot of ability for sure, but he's got to learn that next step of, like, sometimes you don't always have to get the big hit, just make the sure tackle. And they found that out a little bit, but hey, he's a young player. It's really his first year, so he'll learn some of those things, and the team as a whole has to get better against the run, and they found that out.
Well, Ed, let's go on to our second storyline now. It's not unusual to have an undefeated team in the AFC East, especially in early October, but it might surprise some that it's the Buffalo Bills that are undefeated.
I don't think it surprises the Bills, Cass. I mean, look, Josh Allen, we're going to talk a lot about Josh Allen this morning. He's improved. My colleague over here might disagree with me, Mr. Hill. He is an improved player. Defensively, the Bills have always been really good the last few years. They've actually struggled this year, so we're going to see later today how they hold up against the Raiders. Bills are going to come in here. The money this morning, I think Todd Dewey's going to tell us, has gone towards the Bills. They're now 3.5. So we'll see if the Bills can hold it up. They had a huge lead against the Rams last week, lost all of it, and then came back to win the final seconds. So we'll see if that high remains. Sometimes a team like the Raiders coming off a loss, you can kind of get a team coming off a huge win like that. We'll see how emotionally both play. But yeah, the Bills are really good. This is the year a lot of people think, Cassie, they're going to overtake and they're going to win that division now that the Patriots don't have a guy named Tom Brady.
Well, we will see what happens before our last storyline here. On Monday, several Raiders players, including quarterback Derek Carr, were at a charity event put on by tight end Darren Waller to raise money for his foundation that helps fight addiction and substance abuse in young adults. Well, unfortunately, the amount of money raised wasn't the headline. Instead, it was the fact that multiple players were seen not wearing masks. Carr spoke to the media about this on Wednesday.
I feel like, one, we've done a fantastic job around here, and I hate that a few moments without our masks on led to a story about our team and all this kind of stuff, and so we felt terrible about that. We addressed it. We talked with Coach and we talked with our trainers, about what really went down, and we've been doing our very best. And we had a few moments where we slipped up, took the masks off so people could see our face and things like that. And we weren't perfect, but we were trying our best. We weren't trying to be careless or reckless. I hope that we don't lose what was really going on there, because Darren had a great idea. He had a great plan. He wants to help people, and I hope that we can just more so move the conversation that way. Again, we've addressed it in-house. We admit, we should have kept the mask on, even if we are coming and they're introducing us and things like that. But at the end of the day, I hope that the story is more about what Darren was able to accomplish and all those kind of things.
Well, Heidi Fang will discuss COVID-related issues across the league in a little bit. But Ed, how big of a deal is it that the Raiders players were seen without masks?
Well, we're going to see, when you get symptoms can arise 2 to 14 days. They've been negative so far, so good for the Raiders. Look, this is bad optics. You cannot show up to a public event not wearing masks. I don't know who told John Gruden they walked in with masks, his players. We have video evidence shot by you, Cassie, where they came in with no masks. We have Derek Carr taking selfies and pictures with people who have bought his jersey at the event. It's bad optics. Wear the masks. We've seen what's happened across this league. I think the Raiders are hoping within 14 days everyone's negative, but it's just not a good look when you walk into a gala with over 100 people who have not been temperatured, who have not had to sign waivers. Bad look for the Raiders.
All right. Well, Bills head coach Sean McDermott also was asked about this controversy this week, as well as his team's matchup against the Raiders. Here's what he had to say.
My respect for Coach Gruden is off the charts. I remember watching him years ago in Philadelphia with the Eagles. I grew up in Philadelphia and actually worked at training camp one year, and he was the new offensive coordinator, and he was ahead of the curve even back then. And I think, as you mentioned, the greatest strength, and I believe he is. When you hire a coach and he's on a 10-year contract, and he's putting in place what he's put in place to this point. He and Mike Mayock as well, and I think they're shaping a team to play well now, but also in the future. And he's been around. I mean, listen, I'm talking about Coach Gruden. He's won a Super Bowl, so what more could you ask for?
They had some guys at a function without masks. You're playing the Raiders this week. As an organization, how much of a concern is this going to Vegas with the potential that these guys might be on the field against you?
Yeah, that news was unfortunate. What we try and do is control what we can control on our end, and we've got a lot of respect for Coach Gruden and their organization, and I'm sure they're on top of it.
Adam, what do you think about what McDermott had to say?
Yeah, I mean, he raised a lot of good points, and one of it is, hey, you try to control what you control. That's what coaches say all the time. That's how they speak. But in this case, you can't do that. You can't control what the Raiders do, and you have to be on the field against them. So Trey White, one of the Bills stars, the cornerback, talked about it this week. He said a lot of antennas were raised in the locker room. And you have to consider Trey White has lost family members to COVID and talked early in the season about opting out. He was very, very up to the last minute about whether he should play or not because he was concerned about the virus this year. So you have to understand how those players look when they say, we're trying to do everything right. We see this is going on. Now, again, unfortunate that this is overshadowing what was a great, great night of charity. But you understand the sacrifices players are making across the league, and when they see other teams that are not following the same protocols, they're going to get upset.
Right.
Our social media is sponsored by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable.
Well, let's go ahead and get our first look at social media. Ed, Gorilla Rilla met a fellow Raiders fan with some impressive ink.
Yeah, impressive. Look, great ink by the Gorilla Rilla friend there. The Al Davis face, I think Mark Davis wants his on there. All the Super Bowls on there. The Oakland, he's got to get a Las Vegas words there instead of Oakland. It reminded me of my own ink. I won't tell you what it was. Crazy night in Maui. It was I think Gorilla Rilla, we don't know what he does really, but he showed up at this house and he saw this man who was a huge fan of the Raiders, had the sleeve with all the ink. Give the guy a lot of credit, really creativity. Had a little LA in there in the Oakland for the Dodgers. I'm a fan of that. But good job by the fan there with all his ink. Like I said, the Al Davis pitcher, we need one of Mark Davis on the back end there.
Well, meanwhile, Adam, Alec Ingold's leap against the Patriots last week caught the attention of the guys who run Madden.
Sure, but what about his ink? I mean, we don't have anything like that was impressive with that other guy. I would actually get this photo tattooed, maybe the leap,
the high jump there,
and we saw what that does. Like Madden does a great job doing the adjustments. They have guys out at all the games, watching the films, checking it out, and I think well deserved the jump rating of 87 for Alec Ingold. That's an impressive leap right there.
It's pretty good. All right, well here is a live look at Allegiant Stadium. Coming up next, Vegas Nation Gameday. The Raiders have some intense fans, as we just saw, and we've got the photos to prove it. We will be right back.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Vegas Nation Blitz, your weekly show for all things Raiders.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm tired of being disrespected. So there was no question I was going to play this year.
From practice to game day.
We look more dynamic. We look more hungry.
My goal is to catch at least 60 balls this year.
Vegas Nation, fast takes, smart coverage.
Get the Vegas Nation podcast 3 days a week. All things Raiders, all week long. The Vegas Nation podcast, powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Now 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Raiders analysis.
Mark Davis looking out for the fans.
Interviews. How do you look at this season coming up?
I'm going to be a much better player.
NFL talk.
The Cowboys are not a legit contender either.
They are, my friend.
They're not.
Find all our podcasts on VegasNation.com and hit subscribe. Raiders, fast takes, smart coverage.
Field Pass is sponsored by Scenic Brewing Company, your neighborhood brewery and sports bar.
Nothing. It's just me talking.
Oh, so we're not in this?
Yeah, no.
What you got?
Okay. With your field pass from Allegiant Stadium, it's Heidi Fang. And like we mentioned earlier in the show, the Raiders did have some issues at a gala with not wearing masks, and luckily they have not had any major fallout. But the NFL did put out a memo, and in that memo, they had said that there will be restrictions. People are going to need to pay more attention, more focus to what is happening here. They're going to have to wear their masks. There is strict testing protocol happening. As we've already seen, there's about 19 Titans players who have already tested positive for the virus, and that means that right now that game is going to be postponed until another week. We also have to see what happens with the Kansas City and the Patriots game. Right now we're looking at that being postponed because of a backup quarterback on the practice squad having tested positive, as well as Cam Newton for the Patriots. So the Raiders have luckily dodged some bullets so far, being that they have just played the Patriots and have not had anybody test positive for the virus. So that'll do it for me here with the field pass. Back to you, Cassie.
Now let's go ahead and flip the field, where Ed Graney gets some insight from someone who covers the Bills.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's Flip the Field with Tim Graham from Buffalo. Follow him on Twitter, @ByTimGraham. Terrific writer for The Athletic. Tim, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Sorry I won't see you in Vegas.
No, we're sorry as well, but we are going to talk about the game real quick here. You know, our good friend Adam Hill, the acerbic negative guy about Josh Allen. I contend that this might be the real Josh Allen. He contends it'll never be that way. You tell us, who is Josh Allen, the one we're seeing now or the one we were used to seeing?
Well, it could be somebody in the middle, but I tend to lean more towards you, Ed, and I've had this discussion with Adam before. We know that Adam's affinity for Tyrod Taylor is coloring his disdain for Josh Allen. He feels that Tyrod should have had a better shake in Buffalo and didn't get it, and that the Bills were willing to move on from him too quickly. So I think he needs to get rid of his Tyrod Taylor bias and just embrace it. He's a Bills fan. I mean, what's there to be against?
Well, we know him too well, and Josh is playing extremely well. Did you think, though, whether it's the completion percentage, he's completing a lot of balls down the field, did you think it would happen this fast in terms of what is perceived from the outside looking in as vast improvement?
Yeah, well, this is year 3, so this is when you want to see it. I think that historically you want to see it more in year 2 of any quarterback. And, Matthew Fairburn at The Athletic, my teammate, did a story on that before the season, and really the only quarterback who didn't show much through his first 2 years as a starter and then turned into something significant was somebody like Donovan McNabb. It doesn't happen too often. You usually see what you're going to get by year 2. So his big jump in completion percentage, obviously over 70%, his His accuracy was the big issue coming out of Wyoming and through his first 2 years in the NFL, being reckless with the ball, not just the interceptions, but also fumbling. He's been able to avoid those grave errors so far, but it's only 3 games. You only need to go back 4 games to find a disastrous performance from Josh Allen, and that was in the playoffs against Houston. So let's maybe tap the brakes about the MVP talk.
Great stuff there. Let's move over to the other side. Last question for you. Defensively, I don't know if they've been the Bills defensively that we thought they would be, especially against the run. What's going on there, and what can the Raiders expect defensively against the Bills?
Yeah, injuries have been an issue, particularly at linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano, they both should play Sunday in Las Vegas, but they were absent week 2 against Miami. The problem has come after halftime. The Bills are getting outscored by a load, and particularly in the fourth quarter. And yes, there's some prevent defense issues in there too, but the Bills have also trailed in the fourth quarter of each of their last 2 games. So they're vulnerable up the middle. So the Raiders fans have to like the sound of that with the run game that they have. And it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do. But they're missing their run stopper, Star Lotulelei, who opted out for the COVID reasons this year, and they haven't been able to replace him.
Awesome stuff there, as we knew we would get from Tim Graham on Twitter at @ByTimGraham, writes for The Athletic in Buffalo. Tim, thanks very much. We really appreciate taking a few minutes.
All right, take care, guys.
There he goes. Let's flip the field with Tim Graham. Back to you guys.
Thank you. Well, now let's go ahead and go to Sam Gordon and Vinny Bonsignore at Allegiant Stadium for their take on the Bills.
Thanks, Cassie. It's here at Allegiant Stadium. Heidi Fang, Vinny Bonsignore, and Sam Gordon, our Raiders reporters. And we have to first take a look back at what happened in Week 3. The Raiders suffered their first loss to the Patriots, 36-20, the final score. Sam, what did you make of what happened in that game?
Well, during that 2-0 start, Heidi, the Raiders were playing clean football. They were minimizing penalties. They weren't turning the ball over. And they were making key plays when they needed to be made. And on last Sunday against the New England Patriots, all that went out the window. The Raiders commit 6 crucial penalties at crucial points of the game. They turn the ball over 3 times, and then they can't stop the run, not one bit. New England piles up 250 rushing yards. They control the tempo with their 3 backs and Cam Newton in that running attack, and really were able to put that game away early in the fourth quarter in the second half with the way that they controlled the pace. So in order for the Raiders to bounce back, they're going to have to clean up some of those mistakes. You can't make penalties, and you can't turn the ball over against a team like the New England Patriots that's noted for playing the cleanest football in the NFL.
All right, Vinny, like Sam said, cleaning things up. But right now they're facing a team that is 3-0 as we speak, AFC East. Wasn't really expected to happen with these Bills, but what do you make of this team, Vinny?
Well, all due respect to the Bills and the Bills Mafia, I'm not necessarily buying what the Bills are selling just yet. Let's take a look at this. They beat a epically bad New York Jets team fairly easily. Then they beat a mediocre Miami Dolphins team by 3 points. They come back and beat the Rams, who were making their second trip back east. Had to come back in dramatic fashion to do that, to pull that win out last week in Buffalo to beat the Rams. I'm not quite there yet with the Buffalo Bills. Now, having said that, Josh Allen has made a quantum leap forward as a quarterback. We'll see if that keeps up. Obviously, Stephon Diggs is a problem that the Raiders are going to have to deal with. So, look, if the Bills come into Allegiant Stadium today and take care of business, then I might be on that bandwagon. I'm just not there quite yet.
All right, well, we shall see what happens once this game gets underway. But for now, back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. Well, Raiders fans, we want to see your photos, and we're offering some free swag to get them. It's the Vegas Nation Fantastic Photo Contest. Just post your photo with the hashtag VNWeek4 to enter. The winners will be selected on Monday. Ed and Adam, here are some photos from this past week. Let's go ahead and take a look at them. We got some tailgating action going on there, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, who said there's no tailgating and no parking at Allegiant Stadium? You could pull right up and enjoy the game, and I know there's some more of that opportunity today for if the price is right for a lot of the fans, for sure. But yeah, just chilling. I like this.
I like that. I like that. What else do we have here? Let's see. There we go. Oh, that's a throwback there in Oakland, it looks like.
Yeah, hopefully it was posted Thursday. Throwback Thursday, for sure.
Throwback Thursday.
Yeah, that's a good look. The memories we had, the new stadium and the old stadium together. I like it.
There you go. Love it. What else? Let's see. Oh, yeah, here's a Iron Man, Raiders Iron Man, Ed? What do we think about Iron Man here, this costume? Baby Yoda.
Kind of like it is that Andy Reid's new helmet. You know, when I see these things, I always wonder if your mother again is trying to sneak in a fake name to win a prize. But we're too smart here at Vegas Nation. But I like that picture.
Okay, I don't think that's her. Let's go here. Look at this sassy little miss. Love the hand on the waist. Love that.
Yeah, something tells me there's a lot of early Cassie photos that have that same pose, that exact same sassy Cassie.
All right, let's leave sassy Cassie out of this. Okay, this one maybe. I think it was my sister. My sister had a little baby Raiders cheerleader outfit like this, but she is adorable. Look at her. With the face paint, love it. Elf on the Shelf, Raiders Elf on the Shelf. Look at that.
Yeah, adorable. But I'm interested in the flag there too. Like, I don't think that's an official flag. I like it though. That is the new flag of Raider Nation.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, when we come back, we'll take a look at the charity event that could land the Raiders in some hot water. But first, some Raiders trivia.
NFL Trivia is presented by Attack Law. The best defense is a good offense. How cold was the coldest home game in Buffalo Bills history? Was it A, 10 degrees, B, 5 degrees, C, 2 degrees, or D, 0 degrees?
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Vegas Nation Blitz, your weekly show for all things Raiders.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm tired of being disrespected. So there was no question I was going to play this year.
From practice to game day.
We look more dynamic. We look more hungry.
My goal is to catch at least 60 balls this year.
Vegas Nation, fast takes, smart coverage.
Get the Vegas Nation podcast 3 days a week. All things Raiders, all week long. The Vegas Nation podcast, powered by the Las Vegas Review Journal. Now 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Raiders analysis.
Mark Davis looking out for the fans.
Interviews. How do you look at this season coming up?
I'm going to be a much better player.
NFL talk.
The Cowboys are not a legit contender either.
They are, my friend.
They're not.
Find all our podcasts on VegasNation.com and hit subscribe. Raiders, fast takes, smart coverage.
Welcome back to Vegas Nation Gameday. I'm Cassie Soto. We know that several Raiders did not wear masks at an event on Monday night, and that could get the team in some trouble. But before it was a point of controversy, the Beyond the Wall Gala was a way for the Las Vegas community to support a great cause. I talked with Raiders tight end Darren Waller about his event and his foundation, which helps young adults struggling with substance abuse.
This event is first fundraiser for Darren Waller Foundation, and why? I feel like there are a lot of kids that were like me growing up, real sensitive, real shy, trying to be cool, trying to fit in, and are thinking about choosing the path of drugs and alcohol. And I want to get in front of them and let them know that that's not a path they need to take. It's a path that can take you a lot of places that you don't want to go. And so I want to share my story and put all that into it because it's something that I've had to struggle through, live through. So this is my why, and I'm just glad to be here tonight. We got the cleats that I wore in the Saints game. We got jerseys of mine, jerseys of Derek Carr, Jason Witten. We've got memorabilia from former Raiders. We've got all kinds of artwork. Anything that you can think of. We've got some hot items tonight, and they're going to go pretty fast. Well, it's really a family environment. These are guys that, ever since they came to the team through the summer, just grinding out in April when no one's watching, hanging out, having meals together, playing card games, things of that nature. So it's awesome to, build those relationships, and it goes so much farther than the field. We got things called wall talks in the works. These are like TED Talk style events where I get up and share about my story, share about things that I'm going through, things that they may be going through. We got those. We're launching online communities for the kids, getting them an honest, open environment to be involved in each other's lives. And, this will be to the next fundraising event.
Okay, Bills up next, undefeated Josh Allen. What's it going to do to get a win here back at home?
You got to show up and play your best football. You got to play inspired football. It's a great football team, contender, no doubt about it. But, why else play the game? Just you play against the best, it brings the best out of you, and we look forward to challenges like that.
Ed Graney and Adam Hill join us now. Ed, Waller was clearly proud that the gala raised more than $300,000 for his foundation, but again, the storyline is that his teammates were not wearing masks.
Guys, that's the problem. The storyline should be the $300,000. This is an incredible foundation Darren Waller has set up. He's a recovering addict. He has been clean for 3 years, sober for 3 years. He's trying to help young adults that might find themselves in the same peril and danger as he did. This should have been the story, not about masks. So props to Darren Waller. Adam, what happened here? We know it should have been the story, but the mask took away from it. I feel terrible for Darren Waller for that.
Yeah, and I think you listened to what the players said, and a lot of what they said is, hey, we've been doing all the right things. We've been following protocols. It was a situation where we wanted to meet the fans. We wanted them to see our faces, see us smile. You understand that, but you also have to understand the sacrifices that teams are making around the league. And let's not forget, the Raiders were victims of some really unfortunate timing here. Like, there's this outbreak across the league. The Titans have issues. Cam Newton, who they just played, have some issues. The Chiefs now, we're not sure about the status of their game. It's scheduled now for Monday night, and we think that's going to go forward. But if that gets pushed back a couple of days, what does that do to the Raiders game next week? Like, there's all these questions, and all these teams are intermingled. So when you make a mistake like this, it's going to be amplified.
Well, on Thursday, the Las Vegas community paused to remember the victims of the Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, and the Raiders paid their own tribute with a display at Allegiant Stadium. These pictures come courtesy of our own Leandre Fox and L.E. Basco. 60 beams of light, one for each person killed by the tragic shooting, lit up near the lanai doors, and each victim's name was flashed on the stadium marquee sign. Guys, Raiders owner Mark Davis was there, also enjoying a truly moving tribute. Adam.
Yeah, and we always know that when this time comes up, when this week comes up, especially for this community, it's very difficult. It's tough to really strike the right chord. Like, we all feel it. We're all part of this. Everybody's sad, but at the same time, you want to find the right way to remember people. And I thought the Raiders did a pretty good job of striking that right chord and figuring out a very classy, but not over the top, and self-aggrandizing type of tribute for the Raiders.
Yeah. All right. Well, we know that the Raiders have been good for the Las Vegas economy, but how has Las Vegas been good for the Raiders' bottom line? I spoke this week with Allegiant Stadium insider Mick Akers, and I asked him how the team's value has grown since the talks began to bring the Raiders here to Las Vegas.
Yeah, actually, that was when the talks heated up in 2016. So the year before, in 2015, their value was at like $1.4 billion, which was 31st out of the 32 NFL teams. But then each year after that, once these talks started heating up, and then they officially announced they were moving here, and the plans at the stadium were popping up and all that, their values has been going up. So now it's up 111% since then, sitting at $3.1 billion. So ranked number 12 in the NFL right now. So obviously they went from the bottom towards, working their way up to the top. So obviously their $2 billion stadium coming online, sponsorships with that, all the founding sponsors and such. And then the PSL sale, since they sold out, that obviously played into as well. So, looking, pretty rosy for the Raiders here in Vegas.
We know that some people get their Sunday started earlier than others. If you're just joining us, here's what we've covered so far on this Vegas Nation Game Day. Derek Carr says he and some teammates were without masks for a few moments during a charity event held by tight end Darren Waller. Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen is having a breakout season. Finally, he's completing 71% of his passes. And as our own Mick Akers just told us, moving to Vegas has been good for the Raiders. Their value as a franchise has gone from $1.4 billion to $3.1 billion.
When we come back on Vegas Nation Game Day, we'll update you on who will miss today's game. Don't go anywhere.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Vegas Nation Blitz, your weekly show for all things Raiders.
I'm being completely honest here. I'm tired of being disrespected. So there was no question I was going to play this year.
From practice to game day.
We look more dynamic. We look more hungry.
My goal is to catch at least 60 balls this year.
Vegas Nation, fast takes, smart coverage.
Get the Vegas Nation podcast 3 days a week. All things Raiders, all week long. The Vegas Nation podcast, powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Now 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Raiders analysis.
Mark Davis looking out for the fans.
Interviews. How do you look at this season coming up?
I'm going to be a much better player.
NFL talk.
The Cowboys are not a legit contender either.
They are, my friend.
They're not.
Find all our podcasts on VegasNation.com and hit subscribe. Raiders, fast takes, smart coverage.
Welcome back to Vegas Nation Gameday, presented by Meineke and your local Meineke dealers. When you shop for quality, shop Meineke.
NFL Trivia is presented by Attack Law. The best defense is a good offense. The answer is D, 0 degrees. The temperature was 0 and the wind chill was 32 below when the Bills beat the Raiders in a playoff game in January 1994.
Adam Hill and Ed Graney join me now for a status check. Ed, rookie receiver Brian Edwards will miss this game with an ankle injury, and Henry Ruggs III is doubtful. How does this impact the Raiders' offense?
Well, listen, first you need to know if doubtful usually means out, 95 to 98%. So they're probably going to be missing both rookies. How does it impact it? Hunter Renfrow, Nelson Aguilar, Darren Waller, we'll talk about him later in terms of how many targets he got last week. He has to come back. That's what's going to happen. Maybe they throw in a Jason Witten. They're going to have to find a way to find enough receivers to move down the field. Now, Derek Carr, we know he's good at checking down. He's good at short yardage in the passing game. They're going to probably need more of that to keep Buffalo's offense off the field, keep Josh Allen on the sideline. But yeah, it hurts when you have those two rookies out. They were drafted to make the kind of difference in games like this. They won't be with us today, Cassie.
Well, Adam, speaking of rookies, cornerback Damon Arnett has been placed on IR after aggravating his thumb injury. How does that affect what the Raiders do on defense now?
Yeah, definitely it changes a lot of things because Damon Arnett is a guy who's really starting to find himself, really starting to play a little bit better and feel himself as an NFL starting cornerback. And now you go to Nevin Lawson. What it really does, it's not that much of a drop-off to where Nevin Lawson is. It's more about the depth now. Now, if there is an opportunity for somebody else to come in, now you're starting to go further down on the depth chart. That's where the injuries really start to play a factor. And Ed, Zay Jones, that's the guy. The narrative. NFL is all about narratives. Zay Jones, former Bill, the fans were very disappointed. They shipped him out, came to the Raiders. Now he gets a chance for a prominent role against his former team. That's the guy to watch.
Okay.
Ed, you have a hot take there for us?
He's Mr. Buffalo over there, so of course he's going to remember Zay Jones. I'm going to put Hunter Renfrow up. Let's do a little deal between Mr. Hill and I. At the end of the day, we'll come back next week. We'll tell you who does better, Hunter Renfrow or Zay Jones. I'm putting it out there for a sandwich.
All right. Well, speaking of sandwiches, you need a drink to go with it, so why not enjoy an adult beverage here? J.R. Starkus has just the thing for you.
What's up, Vegas Nation? J.R. Starkus back with your Week 4 cocktail for the Buffalo Bills. Something fun that we're going to do that's probably going to pair up real well with those chicken wings you may be having. This is going to be called the Spicy Mango Cerveza, using a little bit of Patron Citronge mango.
Oh, when we're in the
fresh
box,
lemon juice,
we're going to just use that?
2 ounces of fresh pineapple juice, some of that Tabasco jam that we used earlier, and then we're going to, of course, use Modelo, the official sponsor of the Raiders, for this cocktail as well. Beautiful can with the Raiders logo right on it. The drink is going to go in this chilled beer glass that's rimmed with tahini. So here's how you make it. We're going to take 1.5 ounces of Patron Citronge mango into our mixing glass or mixing tin. We're going to add 1 ounce of fresh lemon juice, as well as 2 ounces of pineapple juice. We're gonna take a scoop or 2 of our Tabasco jam. I like 2 bar spoons of Tabasco jam, but you can do 1 if 2 is too many for you. It's up to you, okay? 2 bar spoons. And now we're gonna shake all these ingredients together. We don't wanna add the beer just yet, okay? Because we don't want it to explode on us. So we're gonna add some ice, and we're gonna shake this cocktail all together. We're gonna need all of our ingredients to be as cold as possible because there will not be any ice in this drink. Gotta shake it well so all of the jam gets incorporated into the drink. We'll strain it right into our chilled Pilsner or pint glass, like so. And then we're going to top it with our Modelo Especial. And then we'll just garnish it with a lemon wheel. And there you have it. The spicy mango cerveza for week 4. Cheers.
The Raiders have a 1:25 p.m. kickoff, so you still have plenty of time to go in and get your bets in. And Review Journal sports betting reporter Todd Dewey is here to help. He joins us now from the Mirage. Todd, what's happening with the line today?
Well, Cassie, Las Vegas sportsbooks are going to be rooting for the Raiders for the 2nd straight week, as the vast majority of the money is on the Bills in this one. Buffalo is a consensus 3-point favorite after the line opened at 2.5. Including here at the BetMGM book at the Mirage, and there's also a couple 3.5s out there. Sharp bettors and the betting public are both on the Bills in this one, and there's been sharp money over and under the total. The Westgate took some sharp money over 49.5, 50, and 51, and then once it reached 52.5, there was a sharp bet on the under at Circa. This is one of 7 games on the board today, well, including the Packers-Falcons on Monday night, with a total in the 50s. Bettors love to bet the over, and the number has been flying over the total this season at a 61% clip in the NFL, 30-19 overall over-under record. The Bills and Raiders are combined 6-0 to the over, so odds makers expect that trend to continue today and for a lot of points to be put up at Allegiant Stadium. So for a lot of bettors, it's just score, baby.
Todd, thank you so much. Well, fans, if you want to know more about the wagering, including today's recap and Jim Barnes' live betting blog, you can find that all at reviewjournal.com. A lot of you are making some final adjustments to your fantasy teams, and our own Heidi Fang has some advice for you.
Hey everyone, it's Heidi Fang here with your Fantasy Football Focus, and this week I'm going to give you 2 different players to look at. First of all, we have to look at Darren Waller. I know I said him last week. I know it was only 2 catches. I apologize, but this week I'm going back to the well with Darren Waller because the Bills defense has given up a ton of yards through the air as well as passing touchdowns. I think he's definitely somebody to look at, even though their 2 starting linebackers are returning to the fold. Now, on the flip side, I want to give you Devin Singletary for the Bills, a running back, because the Raiders have not been that great on run protection this year. They have not been able to stop it, and as we saw in the Patriots game, they ran wild. Now, there were a bunch of missed tackles. The Raiders got a little overzealous in places and slipped up. So I don't know if they'll be able to recover and make the necessary adjustments to take care of these 2 running backs, and that's Zach Moss and Devin Singletary. And I think both of them could possibly have a huge game here against the Raiders. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Heidi. Let's go across the league. First, the Denver Broncos visited the New York Jets on Thursday, and Brett Rippon got his first start at quarterback. Ed, how did he do?
First of all, December of 2017, get on YouTube. Brett Rippon of Boise State interviewed by a young Cassie Soto of the Mountain West. You want to see that.
That's
what
right.
did Brett Rippon do? 19 of 31, 242, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 3 picks, a pick 6, but look, thrown in there, I think he'd only attempted maybe 9 passes in an NFL career. Denver gets an ugly win at the Jets, but it's Denver and the Jets, so what do you expect? Drew Lock was out. Jeff Driscoll had been sacked 11 times in 2 games, so they went to Brett Rippon, and the Boise State kid comes through with a win.
Well, Adam, the LA Chargers rookie quarterback Justin Herbert gets his 3rd start today against the Bucs, but he will be missing some pieces.
Yeah, especially along the offensive line. Turner's out today, Brian Bulaga out as well, and then one of the key weapons, Mike Williams, out. So short-handed offense for the Chargers, who have not won a game since Tyrod Taylor's injury. Justin Herbert has shown some positive things, but 2 straight losses for the Chargers. They'll look to get on track today, although more than a touchdown underdog against the Buccaneers.
All right. Well, when we come back on Vegas Nation Game Day, we'll go live with Kevin Cannon. He is with some Raiders fans. Stay with us.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Vegas Nation Blitz, your weekly show for all things Raiders.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm tired of being disrespected. So there was no question I was going to play this year.
From practice to game day.
We look more dynamic. We look more hungry.
My goal is to catch at least 60 balls this year.
Vegas Nation, fast takes, smart coverage.
Get the Vegas Nation podcast 3 days a week. All things Raiders, all week long. The Vegas Nation podcast, powered by the Las Vegas Review Journal. Now 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Raiders analysis.
Mark Davis looking out for the fans.
Interviews. How do you look at this season coming up?
I'm going to be a much better player.
NFL talk.
The Cowboys are not a legit contender either.
They are, my friend.
They're not.
Find all our podcasts on VegasNation.com and hit subscribe. Raiders, fast takes, smart coverage.
Raiders Replay is sponsored by De Castro Verde Law Group. Our motivation is you.
The first time the Raiders played the Bills, it was on October 23, 1960, when the Bills beat the Raiders in Buffalo 38-9. In the two teams' most recent meeting in 2017, the Bills won 34-14. Overall, the Raiders have had the upper hand in the series, having won 21 games to the Bills' 18. When the Raiders have had home field advantage in the series, they are 14-5 and have won 5 of the last home games. As the Raiders head coach, John Gruden is 1-1 against the Bills. The first time he met them, the Raiders lost 44-21, and in his second meeting with the team, he led the Silver and Black to victory 20-14. In the two times the Raiders met the Bills in the playoffs, the Bills won. Their first postseason meeting was in the AFC Championship game on January 20th, 1991. The second time was the divisional playoffs on January 15th, 1994. Currently, the Raiders have 2 former Bills on their roster. Wide receiver Zay Jones was originally drafted by the Bills in the second round of the 2017 NFL Draft. He was the 37th pick overall. Richie Incognito spent 4 seasons with the Bills, where he was also a 3-time Pro Bowler. When Al Davis succeeded Joe Foss as the new American Football League commissioner in 1966, it was Ralph Wilson, president and owner of the Bills, who selected him for the position. And that'll do it for this moment in Raiders history. We'll be back next week.
Let's go now to Review Journal photographer Kevin Cannon, who is live with Raiders fans at Ellis Island Casino and Brewery. Kevin.
Stadium this morning, I find myself in a garden. Fortunately for me, it's a beer garden with a giant 18-foot screen that's showing the game. We're at Ellis Island Casino and Brewery on Koval Lane near Flamingo, and we're in a brand new venue called The Front Yard. Open air venue, and I'm here with marketing director Christina Ellis. Wait a minute, that name sounds familiar.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yeah, so Ellis Island's a family business. My grandpa started in 1968. So I started working here, I was 12, and now I'm the marketing director.
Well, tell me about this new venue. It's open air.
Yes, so it's the front yard. It's our all-new beer garden. It's open air. It's a great place to watch sports, a great place to come for dinner. We, of course, are, in Raiders season right now, so an awesome place to watch all the games, especially Raiders games.
Now tell me about some fan favorites for Raiders games.
Absolutely. So we have game day specials. So they include all-you-can-drink packages, have brunch options, have dinner options, great giant pretzels with beer cheese. We have, brisket Benedict. That's awesome. Mimosas, Ellis Island beer. Hard to go wrong.
So the Bills, 3-0. Is that beer going to be for celebrating or for crying in?
We're definitely hoping it's for celebrating, but, there's something for everything here at Ellis Island, so we're here to help no matter what.
Now that table, there's some Bills fans and some Raiders fans at the same table. In these divided times, one thing we can all agree on is Ellis Island. Now, when I think of Ellis Island, I think of karaoke. I know you've won the Las Vegas Review Journal Best for Las Vegas many years, including last year. Are we going to see a repeat this year?
Oh, we hope so. Fingers crossed. We love winning Best of Las Vegas, and we love having karaoke. So.
Now, I'm going to put you on the spot on live TV. If the Raiders win, are you going to sing karaoke?
Oh my gosh, if the Raiders win, everyone would be very upset if I started singing karaoke.
Thank you very much, Cassie. Back to you.
Our social media is sponsored by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable.
Let's go ahead and take another look at social media. Adam, Alec Merck reminds us that Allegiant Stadium is also known as the Death Star.
Yeah, cool nickname still. I still don't get any of the references. Anytime we do these, I have no idea about anything Star Wars, but looks cool, good stuff.
All I know is you guys did a podcast and talk about that it blows up. So not a good name, really, for the
I heard that. Somebody told me the Death Star blows up several times in the movies. I wouldn't know.
Producer Larry, I think, is the one who told us.
I don't know who these people are, so I can really help you.
Meanwhile, Ed, the Bills are coming to Vegas for the first time, and they're channeling their inner George Clooney.
Blame Larry for everything. Listen, I like this one. I like this over the Saints and the hangover, Drew Brees waving. I know Gruden was the bad driver. Not much creativity in my mind. I like that they did this with Allen. Took a lot of work, did some video, did some B-roll. That's what we say in TV, I've learned. But yeah, I like the social media with the Bills. Good job.
They're just stealing it. Like last week, you're going to do a movie. The last time they're here, the Saints did a movie. They did The Hangover. Now we're doing Ocean's 11. You can't just steal what the previous team did.
What's the next movie? What's the next movie that we have to do?
I guess Vegas Vacation.
Okay,
you can go with maybe. I guess, but no more movies. Somebody already did the movies. You can't do Vegas movies anymore.
All right, Ed. Well, let's get to it now, and let's get your hot takes on this game.
Yeah, thanks, Cass. Hey, everyone. Well, it's been said that one's reaction to adversity, and not the adversity itself, tells you how things might then develop. Raiders are coming off a whole bunch of adversity from that 36-20 loss at New England last week. They pretty much did everything you can't: turn the ball over, not stop the run, not convert on third down, and still. You can't do that and win on the road, especially against the Patriots and Bill Belichick. You have no chance. It's downright impossible. When you play like that this week against the Buffalo Bills, it won't be good either. But they have a chance to go 3-0 as the Bills visit Allegiant Stadium. So much of these first 3 weeks regarding the Raiders have been about their defense and what improvements they must make for Las Vegas to compete for a playoff spot. And while the Bills average 31 points a game and are led by a much improved quarterback in Josh Allen, it's the Raiders' offense that needs to show up against Buffalo. Why? Wide receiver Bryan Edwards and Henry Ruggs are probably out for this game. That doesn't mean they can't move the ball. One player you might want to watch on the Raiders is slot receiver, second-year guy, Hunter Renfrow. The Bills struggled mightily last week covering Cooper Kupp of the Rams out of the slot. Whether it's linebacker Tremaine Edmonds or cornerback Tyron Johnson, the Bills never really could solve Coop as the Rams made their huge comeback before losing in the final seconds. Buffalo's expected to have some defensive players injuries back for this game, but that shouldn't stop Raiders quarterback Derek Carr from looking Renfrow's way often. Renfrow was one bright spot last week for the Raiders, totaling 9 catches for 84 yards and a score. If he can find those open spaces on drag routes, there should be enough room to run after the catch. And then there's Darren Waller. The Las Vegas tight end was a non-factor last week, mostly because Belichick's a master at taking an opponent's best threat away. But while the Bills have a chance each week to be terrific defensively, they can't simply watch the New England film and hope by copying what the Patriots did against Waller will also work. That's not how this league works. It's imperative Carr gets his star tight end involved early with some targets. Waller is not a player who's been held down as much as he was last week. Would it help the Raiders if running back Josh Jacobs has a big day? Of course. But remember, Jacobs isn't even averaging 4 yards a carry. This is not a player who gains huge chunks of yards, perhaps even against a Bills run defense that has struggled in recent weeks. No, the Raiders have to throw the ball well to beat Buffalo. and they can't score 20 points to do it and expect to go 3-1. My pick, wait for it, Raiders 28, Buffalo 26. I'm Ed Graney. That's my hot takes. Back to you, Cassie.
Ed, thank you. Well, when we come back, we'll check in live with your fellow Raider fans. Don't go anywhere.
Stay on the winning page with Fan Fave Las Vegas Review Journal to receive Vegas Nation content, plus breaking news, local entertainment, and lifestyle coverage. For only 99 cents a week, you'll get home delivery plus unlimited access to LVRJ.com. However you like it, whenever you like it. Award-winning content, all at your fingertips. Subscribe today at mylvrj.com/superfan.
Vegas Nation Blitz, your weekly show for all things Raiders.
I'm being completely honest here. I'm tired of being disrespected. So there was no question I was going to play this year.
From practice to game day.
We look more dynamic. We look more hungry.
My goal is to catch at least 60 balls this year.
Vegas Nation, fast takes, smart coverage.
Get the Vegas Nation podcast 3 days a week. All things Raiders, all week long. The Vegas Nation podcast, powered by the Las Vegas Review Journal. Now 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Raiders analysis.
Mark Davis looking out for the fans.
Interviews. How do you look at this season coming up?
I'm going to be a much better player.
NFL talk.
The Cowboys are not a legit contender either.
They are, my friend.
They're not.
Find all our podcasts on VegasNation.com and hit subscribe. Raiders, fast takes, smart coverage.
The Road Ahead is sponsored by the Richard Harris Law Firm. Just in case. Injured? Call 444-4444.
Hill and Ed Graney join us now. Adam, the road ahead takes the Raiders to Arrowhead Stadium, where they will face off against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and I think the first thing to watch is before the game even takes place. I mean, the Chiefs are dealing with some COVID issues. Obviously, we know about their game this week. We got confirmation from the NFL. They're going to try to play a Monday night doubleheader with the Patriots and Chiefs going first. But that game needs to be played. If it's not, if it's pushed back to later in the week, if it's Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, that game next week could be in jeopardy. So that's something to watch before we even get there. And Ed, if they do get to play next Sunday, if they do take the field, they're going to have their hands full, the Raiders are, with a star Kansas City tight end.
Yeah, they absolutely are, Adam. Listen, everyone talks about Pat Mahomes. We understand that. I was at the Super Bowl last year. You know what Raiders owner Mark Davis told me? Travis Kelce. They can't cover tight ends in the last several years. That's why they got Corey Littleton, who has struggled. 29 rating on Pro Football Focus. Not good. Nick Kwiatkowski coming off the injury. They've got to find a way next week, if the game is played, as Adam just told you, to cover Travis Kelce. Everyone's always worried about the Chiefs and their outside speed, and you have to do that. But Pat Mahomes has a security blanket like many quarterbacks do in this league with great tight ends. Somehow, whether it's Littleton playing better, Kwiatkowski, however they do it next week against the Chiefs, watch Travis Kelce. If the Raiders don't figure out how to cover him, they could be in trouble again against Kansas City.
Let's go back out to Allegiant Stadium now, where Sam Gordon, Vinny Bonsignore, and Heidi Fang have some thoughts on today's game.
Thanks, Cassie. All right, we are back here at Allegiant Stadium. It's Heidi Fang, Vinny Bonsignore, and Sam Gordon. And here are our final thoughts for me. I've got to look at Nevin Lawson to step up huge at the cornerback position with the depleted secondary that the Raiders currently have. Vinny, what are you looking forward to?
I'm going right to defense, number 44, Nick Kwiatkowski. The Raiders are hopeful of getting their middle linebacker back. He's not a savior by any means, but he completes that defense, completes the linebacker core. He brings leadership. He calls the defense for the Raiders, but also he takes pressure off of Corey Littleton. There's a reason why they signed both Corey Littleton and Nick Kwiatkowski in free agency. It's a tandem, and Corey Littleton needs his sidekick back out there so to free him up to do what he does best and allow Nick to do what he does best. I expect a big game from 44 if he can play.
All right, Sam, what are you looking forward to in this contest most here with the Raiders?
Heidi, I want to see if Josh Jacobs can get going. Now, we know he's among the league leaders in rushing yards, and the volume is there, but the efficiency is not what it was last season. Last year, he averaged 4.8 yards per carry. This year, he's off to a little slower start, averaging 3.7 yards per carry. This is a Bills defense that's vulnerable against the run. Darrell Henderson last week rushed for 112 yards on 20 carries. He did what he needed to do. Can the Raiders get Josh Jacobs going? That offensive line is getting a little bit healthier with the return of Sam Young and Denzel Good. I look for Jacobs to have a big game today.
Great stuff. All right, that'll do it for us here from Allegiant Stadium. Back to you in the studio.
Heidi, thank you. Well, Adam and Ed, let's go ahead and get your final thoughts on this afternoon's game. Adam, we'll start with you.
Yeah, a lot of eyes will be on Josh Allen. We talked about him a lot today for the Bills. The Raiders need to make him make mistakes. He'll make them. 6 interceptable passes already this season. They've had a lot of drops on the defense, but try to make him make those errors. 3 fumbles as well. So he'll turn the ball over if you let him. The Raiders just have to try to take advantage of that.
Ed, your thoughts on today's game?
Have it dawned on you? My guy over there doesn't like Josh Allen. You know what you have to do with Josh Allen today? Keep him off the field. He's played well enough to where this offense can move. Derek Carr, 12 play drives, 11 play drives. I know it's not easy against Buffalo's defense sometimes. Keep Josh Allen off the field. The Raiders have a chance.
Thank you, guys. All right, well, remember that the print edition of Game Day is on newsstands now. Thank you so much for watching this edition. We really have hope that you guys have enjoyed watching our hard work here and our efforts. Adam, the fans at home, what have been your responses? I know Bronco Babe, the mom, texts us. She loves it, but that's just her opinion there.
Yeah.
How have you been enjoying this show?
I've
so
heard
far?
the same thing that I would say about the show. Everybody does a great job except for me. I'm the weak link. I'll accept that. I'll take that and try to improve and get better.
Well, we just work really hard here. We hope you guys are enjoying it. We also have our Wednesday show, Vegas Nation Blitz, that you can also catch on Cox Your View Channel 14. Again, remember that the print edition of Game Day is on newsstands now. Thank you so much for watching this edition of Game Day. I'm Cassie Soto, Adam Hill, and Ed Graney here with me. We'll see you next time.